the stand. Now he runs. He produces a magic print. He pulls out another one. This is incredible. This is ridiculous. This is 15 out of 10 on the incredible meter. What a player. What an entertainer. Give him the medal. Give him the Dally M medal.
Hello, footy fans, and welcome back to the Chip and Chase podcast. We've got a special episode. The only reason it's special is because it's being recorded on a Tuesday. This is the normal Monday review, the wrap-up of round 4. But, you know, we didn't get footy finished until last night, and with the content and stuff that I had to make last night, I couldn't get around to it till then. So here we are, Tuesday episode, getting recorded. I am tired. I'm exhausted. I've got so much to do today, but this is more important than any of that. We want to get into our review. We want to talk some footy because there's nothing better in the world. But I'm going to start it a little bit differently this time. So if you are following the Instagram page, if you're not at Chip and Chase Podcast, go give it a follow. But if you are, you would notice that the content is starting to pick up. I've got a lot more work to do, don't get me wrong. But one of the sort of content aspects that I've been working on and that I think I'm in a position to post a bit more frequently now is my team of the week. So we're going to give that a bit of a bit of a shout out here, and we're going to go through my team of the week. If you want to see the visual format, the work I've put so much time into, please go have a look at the Instagram page. But right now, we're just going to be getting into it. So let's get straight into the fullback for my team of the week for round 4 of the NRL season. I've gone with Dylan Edwards. Now, very, very hard position to choose from. There were some standout performers, and obviously I'm not going to talk too much about all these players in this team of the week, chat, because when I get into the reviews of the games, I'm going to talk about all these players in a lot more depth. But Dylan Edwards, I thought he was absolutely tremendous for the Penrith Panthers, a big reason why they were able to win this one. I didn't realise he was going to be the goal kicker, so there's just another string to his bow. He's out there goal kicking. I think he came up with about 8 or 10 of the Panthers' total points. Yeah, there you go. So the Panthers scored 22 points. 10 of the points were Dylan Edwards. 12 of the points were Sania Taruva. 2 players for the Penrith Panthers scored the entirety of their team's points. I thought Dylan Edwards was fantastic. He's having an incredible season, running for 250 metres a game plus, seemingly. I'm pretty sure he ran for 300 last week. Just an absolute weapon. So he is fullback for my team of the week this week. Well, as I said, we'll get into more chat about him when we get into the review. When it comes to the wingers for my team of the week, I've gone with, as I just said, Sania Taruva as one winger. When you score a hat-trick, it's going to be hard to sort of leave you off the list, especially a hat-trick and a win. He was fantastic, Taruva, having a fantastic season. I thought last year, he won Rookie of the Year. We all sort of agree and know that Jacob Preston was the Rookie of the Year last year. He was just robbed of the award by the suspension rules, which is stupid. But Taruva, I thought he was good, but I didn't think he was as good as a lot of Rookie of the Years, come past, I suppose. But this season, I think he's just taken his game to a whole nother level. He looks amazing, does Taruva. So he is one of the wingers in my team of the week for round 4. The other is Connor Tracy from the Bulldogs. I am a massive Connor Tracy fan, but I'm trying not to sit here and put bias into this. I just thought the effort he makes from his own end, the runs he takes for such a small guy. I'm pretty sure he scored a try double in this one. He was just everywhere. Absolutely love Connor Tracy, and I thought he was exceptional for round 4. So here's the other winger, the left-hand winger, if you will, for my team of the week. The centres this week, we have Justin Olam and Jack Bird. Another position that was pretty hard. Another centre will feature on my bench because it was a position that was really hard to pick from. There were a lot more other wingers as well that I was very close to picking. I thought Sione Katoa and Marcelo Montoya in particularly this week, they were very close to my wing positions and almost got the cherries over Connor Tracy. But when it comes to the centres, Justin Olam, back-to-back, one of the only players who's featured twice in my team of the week now. He was fantastic, and he's been so good for the Tigers this season. I'm loving him as a pickup there. he's everything that they need. He is everything they need him to be. So love what he's doing over there. Jack Bird, there were some, as I said, some other competition. I just thought Jack Bird was really, really good. Ran for like 170 or something meters. Just was a colossus, a really, really hard man to handle. Thought he was fantastic for the Dragons in their upset victory. So I love that from him. The halves, another more really tough positions to pick. I've gone with Braden Trindle as my 5/8. He has just edged out Lachlan Galvin for that role. I thought Trindle, I called him out to, stamp his authority on the NRL and on the season so far in this one, and I thought he did just that in this game. I think Lachlan Galvin, for an 18-year-old getting another upset victory and how he played, very, very close. Maybe if it wasn't for the sin bin, he might have got into this side. But I've gone with Braden Trindle, thought he was excellent. And Aiden Caesar is the halfback, the Tigers' halves partner of Galvin. Very close was Adam Reynolds, but I think, if anybody saw that game for the Tigers and the Eels, you know why I'm picking Aiden Caesar. Something that's not necessarily going to show up in the stats department, despite a try assist and despite the game-winning field goal. But he was fantastic, Aiden Caesar. Been amazing in his return to the NRL. We move into the front row positions. I've gone Mitch Barnett, another player who has gone back-to-back in my team of the week. He was in there last week. Thought he was exceptional again for the Waz. He's having a fantastic season for them. But he is partnered by Jesse Bromwich, who, again, a performance that doesn't stand out on paper. But once we get to the review of that Dolphins game and I talk about him and maybe things that you guys didn't notice, or if you didn't catch the game, when we chat about him, you'll understand why he makes his team. But he was exceptional for the Dolphins. And I've got Damien Cook at hooker. Very hard to pick there. I was very close to going Wade Egan from the Warriors or Blake Brayley from the Sharkies. But Damien Cook, I thought he was exceptional for the Rabbitohs in their first win of the season. Really good running game. So, he gets that hooker position. Back row, I spent the longest time on picking positions for this back row. One of those was locked in pretty early, which was Homale Olakau'atu. In a losing effort, sure, 200 metres try, just 40 tackles or something. Fantastic game from Olakau'atu. He's having another really good season. And I've partnered him with Jackson Ford from the Warriors, who, after that poor performance a couple of weeks ago, he has been really, really good. Another great game here, another try. He does it all. It's a fantastic game from Jackson Ford. They edged out players like Tyson Frizzell, Jaden Sewer, even Luciano Leilua for the Dragons as well. And my lock forward to round out the starting 13 was Cam McInnes. There was a lot of good options, but I loved what McInnes did for the Sharkies. I think he was a big reason they were able to swing the momentum against the Raiders and they were able to beat that forward pack. I loved what he did at 13. On the bench, we have, by the way, so I'll quickly explain how my bench positions work. Obviously, it's the best performers that don't quite make the starting 13, but every number in this bench has a specific role to it. So number 14 is a back, so the best back player that didn't make the starting 13. Number 15 is the best spine player that didn't make the starting 13. Number 16 is the best forward that didn't make the starting 13. And number 17 is the best bench player who obviously didn't make the starting 13 because they don't start. But we've got to show love to bench players. So I'll just rattle these ones off. For the best back that didn't make the team, we have Jack Whiten at number 14. For the best spine player who didn't make the team, we have Adam Reynolds at number 15. For the best forward who didn't make the starting 13, we have Patrick Carrigan. And number 17, the best bench player this week, I thought was Jaman Hopgood. Of course, named to start at lock, but came off the bench. We'll get to them a bit more in depth when we come to those games. But once again, thank you guys for just tuning into this one. As I said, if you aren't following the Instagram, please go do so. Go show these posts some love. I worked really hard on them. And, me sitting here saying why these players are in the team of the week doesn't look like anything at all. But the effort I put into it, I think it looks really good. I'm really proud of how it turned out. So go give it a look. Go give it some love. I really appreciate that. But now we won't waste any further time. We will get into the first game of our round 4 NRL review. That game, of course, being the Roosters going down to the Penrith Panthers 16-22. Fantastic game. I obviously I tipped the Roosters in this one. I was pretty, not so much confident. We know what the Panthers can do, but I thought in the absence of Nathan Cleary. In the absence of Nathan Cleary, I thought the Roosters could get it done. They've been a really classy football side so far this season. I thought they'd get the Chockies. I was wrong. But once again, I was treated to some fantastic rugby league, and that's all I wanted. It was a fantastic way to open the round, if you will. I thought Panthers, they just had a really inspired effort, to be honest. They just had so many. They were just turning up for each other all night long in defence. There was a lot of big hits, like there was Joey Manu on Jerome Luai, Victor Radley on Liam Henry, Mal Eisenhuth on Dom Young. Like it was just a fantastic effort from the Penrith Panthers. They just kept turning up. So really enjoyable game. In terms of the standouts, we'll start with who I've already mentioned, Dylan Edwards. I thought he was exceptional for the Panthers. He's obviously been an underrated fullback, and I've mentioned him before, saying he is one of the most elite fullbacks in our game, and people need to stop pretending otherwise. But he had his best game of the season in this one, 24 runs, 246 metres, had the try, 2 conversions, got a penalty goal, 1 line break assist, 1 try assist, 6 tackle breaks. Like, what more do you want from him? He works so hard. And for the players that needed to stand up in Cleary's absence, I thought he stood out more than anyone else. So he, as I said, gets into my team of the week. But just in general, fantastic game from Dylan Edwards. Loved what I saw from him. It's also a bit funny that in terms of Supercoach, which of course we don't talk too much about in the normal review podcasts, but with Supercoach, my girlfriend is getting into it a bit this year, and she listens to my podcast. She listens to a little bit of content here and there, so she can try and make informed decisions as someone who doesn't really know, but she also wants to make decisions herself each and every week. So when we do our trades, she'll go, I want to do this one, and I can be like, I mean, yeah, probably not the best idea, but I'll back you. Sure enough, in Supercoach, she's like, I've got a feeling about Dylan Edwards. I want to bring him in. And I'm like, look, I'd probably go for someone like Scott Drinkwater or anything. But she brought in Dylan Edwards, and he scored 120 in Supercoach, which was one of the top scores of the round. So big shout out to my girlfriend on that one. But moving on from Dylan Edwards, I thought Brad Schneider, he obviously came into this game as the replacement halfback for Nathan Cleary. I thought he had a really, really good game, a really controlled game. Led the team around the park. It's like they weren't even missing Cleary the way Schneider was out there and calling the shots. He was fantastically, got them to their spots in attack beautifully, ran the show, just played his role. Thought he was really, really good. He kicked well as well. Probably not a performance that necessarily stands out in the stats department was Brad Schneider, but the commentators knew it. That anybody watching the game with a bit of a footy brain knew what Brad Schneider brought to this club, what he brought to this performance in particular. He can't really be measured in stats. He was really, really good, was Brad Schneider. As I said earlier, Sania Taruva, fantastic game. As I said, you score a hat trick, you make him my team of the week. But beyond that, he once again backed it up with really good work out of his own end, 140 metres from 15 runs. It's the sort of stuff we expect from Taruva nowadays. It honestly could even be down on his normal running metres. He works so hard. So 3 line breaks from him, 4 tackle breaks, 3 tries, 1 offload. Not much you can say about that. He was he was always in the right position, and he was always not afraid to work it out of his own end. So you got to love that from your wingers. When you've got Brian To'o on the other side, it's good to see when he's not the best winger on the field and your wing partner is. That's pretty exceptional stuff. You'd be pretty happy with that as a coach. So big shout outs to Sania Taruva. In terms of anyone else in the Panthers, look, there wasn't too many more standouts. I just thought that the way that they played as a whole was just fantastic. I thought once again their front rowers, Leota, Smith, and Liam Henry off the bench, really good. I thought Matt Eisenhuth was really good off the bench. They just really stood up to the Roosters forward pack, and I really loved that. The last one that I sort of want to say, I guess, is Isaiah Yeo. I can only say it so many times, and I will just continue to keep doing so. But he's the best. He's the best look forward in our game. Another 80-minute performance, 22 runs, 184 metres, 75 post-contact. Just fantastic stuff. Couple of offloads, 35 tackles. He just does it each and every week, does Isaiah Yeo. He's so good. So I'll give him his flowers, give him his dues. Fantastic. And lastly, for the Penrith Panthers, Maverick Geyer, he made his debut for them in this game, chalked out 30 minutes of game time, was really, really good in that game time as well, did not look out of place whatsoever. So big shout out to Maverick Geyer, very happy for him and really good performance from him. But that's sort of all the standouts for the Panthers. Of course, they did win this game, so a lot of it doesn't come down to standout performers on an individual level. But they played so well across the park. I thought Jerome Luai was really good as well, really hard to handle. So, yeah, really good game from the Penrith Panthers. In terms of the Roosters, look, I want to touch on the first one, the Joey Manu no try. Yes, the Joey Manu no try. I was not happy seeing this live. I thought it was so stupid. So, if for those who missed it, basically, Roosters go to the right. They're just doing their play, hitting their structures. Jared Warrior-Hargreaves is a lead runner. He hits his line perfectly as a front rower or just as a runner in general. Inside shoulder, straight through the line. You cannot run a better line than Jared Warrior-Hargreaves. They don't hit him. They keep playing out the back, but he was obviously just that decoy. Now, he, as I said, went to the inside shoulder and he went through the line. That is what you're taught. That is everything that you do as a front rower. Then Dylan Edwards ran into him in cover defense, which he could have just not done that, but he did. He played for it. And when the Roosters score through Joey Manu, it's taken back. And it was so stupid because Dylan Edwards is not the line of defense. You're told in the rules, you're told as a player, you get through the line of defense. You cannot stop in the line of defense. Jared went through the line of defense. The cover defense is not a line. Sure, you can, they can be obstructed. What Jared did is not obstruct them. He's done his job to perfection, and they took the try off the Roosters because of that. Look, I don't think it makes a difference. Obviously, there's a one-try game, but when plays like that happen so early in a contest, it's neither here nor there because you don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the game if something like that goes through. So I'm not saying it should have changed the result or anything or the Roosters were robbed. I just think when we're getting into areas that we're calling that an obstruction, I think that's so poor and I hate that. I'm pretty sure Graham Annesley, the referee's boss, has come out and said that it should have been a try, which is all we need because absolutely it should have been a try. Tough. I won't spend too much time on it, but yeah, what Jared did was exactly what you're taught to do as a front rower, and he ran through the line. Dylan Edwards is not the line of defense, and therefore, you can't call it back for an obstruction for stopping in the line because he didn't. He got through it and then stopped, which is what you're told to do. Regardless, we'll move on from that. In terms of standouts for the Roosters, I thought Victor Radley was phenomenal again for the Roosters. Pretty sure it's his quietest performance in terms of run meters, but what Victor Radley brings across the park is just can't be measured necessarily in the stats. He was hitting hard again. As we know, Victor the Inflictor, making fantastic shots, but it's so cool to see him having them controlled and none of them going wayward and high or just he knows how he seems to have found that perfect balance of his aggression and just the way he plays his footy. He was fantastic. Not just his big hits in defence, which were swinging momentum, but his efforts in cover tackles, just across the ball, across the park defensively. I thought he was really, really good. And, he still provides great work as a link man and when he runs the ball as well. So Victor Radley, thought he was fantastic. Angus Crichton, I thought him off the bench, only played 26 minutes here, it says. I thought he looked really, really good. He came on for Satili Tupanua. Look, the Roosters have already done a few changes in their second row department to start this year. I can't imagine Angus is going to start anytime soon over Nat Butcher or over Satili. Satili did also score a try in this one, so, you can't say he was poor. But I thought Angus looked really, really good in his time on the field, was just running really good lines, running hard, defending well, chasing everywhere. Loved what I saw from Angus Crichton, so hopefully we can get him back to his best and we can get him starting sooner rather than later. But yeah, thought Angus Crichton was fantastic. In terms of, I guess, not so standout performance for the Roosters, this one's a bit of a weird one, but Brandon Smith, he did score a try which got them back into this game, but he finished the first half with 0 runs for the Roosters. This is Brandon Smith, probably the biggest running hooker in our game, and arguably the best running hooker in our game. He's so electric, he's so damaging, and if you're not running the football, if any hooker's not running the football, you're losing a lot. But when it's someone as damaging as Brandon Smith, to not run the football once, really baffled me. I think they lost a lot off the back of that. And the thing is, when he came out in that second half, he didn't run extensively, but he still ran, 4 times in the second half. That's 4 times more than he ran in the first half. And he scored a try off one of those runs. So I think it's a perfect reflection of how the Roosters are going to go this year. Players like him need to stand up. They need to do what they're good at. And that first half when they're getting a bit rolled, he's not running the football. And in the second half, he's making a few more inroads, and he's just making stuff off the back of his runs, and his scores will try to get them back in this contest. So Brandon Smith, indifferent game. He wasn't poor, I suppose, but I think we just need to see a lot more from him, in my opinion. And I'm not only saying that because I think he's a fantastic footy player. He's one of my favourite hookers, one of my favourite players knocking about. So, I think we just need a bit more from Brandon Smith, unfortunately. Another, I guess, not so standout was Terrell May. I thought, again, on stats, had a good game, played 55 minutes in the front row, 149 metres, 71 post-contact. He had a bloody good game. He probably made 50-odd tackles, 38 tackles, 0 misses. There you go. Statistically, he was good. And even eye test, he was good. The problem was he continuously just got in the way of the Roosters' attacking structures. I could think of 4 or 5 times just off the top of my head that he was just lurking and just sort of meandering in just nowhere. And when the Roosters are trying to spread it or they're trying to do anything, he's running a really bad line. He's got the line completely wrong. He's just in the way. There was plenty of times that the Roosters would just have to stop and surrender in a tackle because Terrell May stuffed it up really, really bad. And when this game is as close as a 16-22 game against the Premiers, that sort of stuff is almost inexcusable. If you're finishing those attacking structures and you're throwing the ball around, you can win that game. And I thought Terrell May he obviously, he's still relatively new into first grade. There's still a lot more he can learn. Again, not saying he had a bad performance. In the other areas of a front rower, he was really good and he did what you need of him. I just thought, the way he was just meandering and just getting in the way of the attacking sets was quite disappointing, and I'm sure he'll get a bit of a rocket from who the hell is the Roosters coach? Why am I blanking? Who's the Roosters coach? Robinson. I'm sure he'll get a bit of a rocket from Robinson, and they'll talk about that and they'll point that out and he'll fix that up. But bit disappointing from Terrell May. In terms of anyone else for the Roosters, look, I thought Joseph Suwali tried hard. I thought Joey Manu tried hard. He was everywhere. He really was. He was trying to do anything for this side. James Tedesco, always good. Tupou was good. It wasn't a bad game from the Roosters, not whatsoever. The Panthers just play better, and sometimes that's all you have to do to win a game is play better than your opponents. Who would have thought? But no, not a bad game from the Roosters, and there's a lot of bright lights in them. They're having a great season, so don't worry about that too much, Roosters fans. You definitely had your moments, and you could have won this game, and I'm sure you win a lot more games this year than you lose. So we will move on to the second game, which, of course, was the Good Friday clash between the South Sydney Rabbitohs and the Canterbury Bulldogs. The Rabbitohs running away 20-16 winners in this one. So now they leave the Titans as the only team in the NRL to not win a game so far this season. Still not convinced on the Rabbitohs. I obviously did tip them, and I talked about them a bit in my preview. Not the most convinced win, and I think it's just going to mask a bit over their flaws so far this season. I think, there's still a lot left to be desired in how they play their football. And, as I said, the off-the-field stuff. But, they got the win, and that's all you can ask for. I thought they started unenthused, though, which was the big worry. for probably at least the opening 10 minutes, they were just being dominated by the Dogs in the middle. And this is a Dogs forward pack that we've talked about as being really, really, pretty light on, especially on paper. You can't fault effort, and they did try, and that's why they were so good to start. But the Rabbitohs have got a better forward pack across the board, and they were just being outworked, out-enthused. I'm not even sure if that's a thing. But yeah, eventually when they did sort of get themselves back into it, admittedly was off the back of a bloody relieving penalty. They were being dominated, and then they got a penalty. They kicked it downfield out of their own end. But as soon, literally the first set that they had in the Bulldogs half, and the Bulldogs attacking 20, they scored off. So that's good stuff for the Rabbitohs that they can do that. It's not so good stuff from the Bulldogs that you work so hard, you're the better team, and then you give them one chance of a crappy penalty, and then they score and they make you pay for it. That's tough for the Bulldogs, tough to watch as a fan. But yeah, I guess the Rabbitohs have a good attacking side. It's just a shame because it was a soft try. It was literally just Cameron Murray, soft hands through the middle, and Tom Burgess went over to score a try. So pretty disappointing for the Bulldogs in that aspect. But yeah, regardless, we'll move on from that. So look, let's start with Cam Murray from the Bunnies. Fantastic once again. I mean, there's a few locks in this game. There's a few players. I'm just going to say it every week. Your Patrick Carrigans, your Isaiah Yo's, your Cam Murrays. They never have a bad game. They're the captains and the stalwarts, the picture people for their teams. They work so hard. They play so well. Cameron Murray once again doing that. Finished the game with only 61 minutes, which is a bit down on him this year, but with the work he bloody gets through, you can give him a rest, and as you should. But he had 16 runs, just worked hard, only 96 metres, but, had the line break assist, had the try assist. How many tackles did he make? Probably 46 tackles in only 61 minutes. He works so hard. He's the best. He really is. I love Cameron Murray, and I love him for the Rabbitohs. I feel so bad for him with how they're playing because he is not the reason they're losing footy games. The rest of their forward pack really just need to stand up and get on the back of his efforts because they're going to lose a lot more games than they win if this is the way they're playing. I know they got the win here, but yeah, there's still some worrying signs for the Bunnies, especially in my eyes. But Cameron Murray, you cannot fault his effort. You cannot fault how he's played this season in general, and particularly in this game where they get their win. I thought he was the catalyst for it for the Bunnies. So big shout out, Cam Murray. Obviously, a player that we put into my team of the week was Damien Cook. He played the full 80 in this one. Havili, who was their best player a couple of weeks ago, dropped out of the team entirely. So Damien Cook, after starting off the bench last week, played 80 minutes in this one, and I thought he was maybe the Rabbitohs' best player. He was really, really good. Lots of runs, 7 runs, 90 metres off 7 runs. He was just everywhere. He wasn't shirking away from the work. Had the line break, probably made 50 tackles, 48 tackles. There you go. It was Damien Cook's best game of the season. Best game I've seen from him in a fair while. Even in games last year. I didn't think he was bad, but this one he was exceptional. Loved what I saw from Damien Cook. Definitely his best performance. He's at his best when he runs. There's a lot of hookers that you need a running game from. Cook is particularly one of those because he's so quick. He was blitzing fullbacks, blitzing forwards, just running around them. There was a time that he cleaned up a ball, I think it was, off a break, eyes up Blake Taff and just sprinted. Taff caught him, I suppose, but Taff's a fullback. But yeah, I love that. When you got a hooker that's like, I'm that quick, I'm just going to take it around you. Love what I saw from Damien Cook. Really, really good game. Jack Whiten, he had his best game for the Rabbitohs as well, which is, hard to say because he was fantastic in his other game as well. But he's got a double in this one. 13 runs, 140 metres. The best part about Jack Whiten, though, was his defence, in my opinion. The Bulldogs managed to strip the Rabbitohs a fair bit on that side, but he was always there to either make a big hit to stop a play on the centre or on Connor Tracy, the winger. Or if they did get around the Rabbitohs, he would sprint back, and a lot of the time he'd just make that cover tackle. There's a fantastic cover tackle he made on Connor Tracy down that sideline, which took him over the sideline as well. So, yeah, I thought Jack Whiten mainly defensively was at his best. But yeah, when you've got 2 tries and a couple line breaks and 4 tackle breaks as well, you're not doing bad for yourself, which is why he featured on the bench in my team of the week this week. He is everything that the Rabbitohs need him to be on that center position out on the left-hand side. Great stuff from him. Look, not too much else for the Rabbitohs. I thought Tom Burgess was pretty darn good. He's just, doing some really good things. He's been one of those forwards that hasn't really shied away from work. Played reduced minutes last week, and I called for him to play more. He got the start in this one, and he ran for 118 metres. There you go, 12 runs, 118 metres. Scored a try, which is a bit hard to come by for Tommy, so really good stuff from him. Keon Kaloa-Matangi, he's playing really well this season. It's honestly, Tavita Totola last week, I gave him the big rap saying that the other boys need to get on the back of him. He only had 9 runs for 67 metres this time, so disappointing from him. I'm a Totola fan. But as I said, if this is the way your forward back's playing, you've got what 2 players who ran for over 100. Oh, Tallis Duncan off the bench had 101, so shout out Tallis Duncan as well in his 31 minutes. But when you've got 2 of your starting forwards running for 100 metres plus, you're not going to win. They're very lucky to get away with this win because I thought the Bulldogs, I thought their forward pack was much better, and we'll get into them in just a second. But yeah, I think the Rabbitohs, there's a lot of work to do. Their forward pack really does need to stand up more. But yeah, we'll move on to the Bulldogs. Obviously, congrats to the Rabbitohs. They did still get the win, and they got themselves the first win of the season. So it's good stuff from them. And as a Rabbitohs fan, you just take those, and hopefully that's just the confidence boost that they need to go on and win a few more games. But as I said, we'll move into the Bulldogs game here. Starting with my boy Connor Tracy, made my team of the week, but this is why. 2 tries, 20 runs, 190 metres. I thought he ended up with 200, so they must have revamped that a bit. But yeah, a couple of line breaks. He was just, I loved his performance. I'm such a huge fan of Connor Tracy. I think on the wing he's out of position as well, so he's doing this in a place that's not his best position, in my opinion. But he's one of those players. He's a footballer. You just want him out in the park. He's going to provide for you, and he did so in this one. Thought he was absolutely tremendous. There was, Blake Wilson, who's been one of their best this season, didn't play in this one. It was a late scratching for Josh Adokar to return. Which Adokar only played about half the game. He got a really bad concussion, so he missed the rest of the game and will miss next week with their 11-day stand-down policy. Blake Wilson will come into the side and just replace him as an easy replacement, which I think very, very fair. Blake Wilson, I don't think he should have been dropped in the first place. Blake Taff, I thought he was all right. I think he tried hard. He ran the ball a lot. Did he score a try in this one, or was that last week off Reid Marnie? No tries from Blake Taff in this one. Look, I said it last week. I think he's a good player, but I think just trying to fit everyone into this side, I think you either move Connor Tracy to fullback or Stephen Crichton to fullback and Connor Tracy into the centres, and then you can keep players like Blake Wilson and like Josh Adokar when he's fit and healthy on your wing. It won't matter next week, as I said. Adokar with that head knock will miss the game, so they'll just put Wilson back in there and it's like-for-like replacement, bang, bang. That's all you need to do. But, I just think the Bulldogs eventually need to pull the trigger on that, even just moving Stephen Crichton back there. He's been decently quiet so far this season. Not bad at all, but just I thought he'd have a lot more runs and everything. He's not that sort of player. He's not the run for 20 times a game, which is fine. Like that's completely fine. He's still the best centre in our league. But sometimes, just as the captain, as a new signing, I thought he'd shore up a bit more. And in this game, he did do that, in fairness. I thought Stephen Crichton was really good in this one. He did have about that, 15 runs. Yeah, there you go. 15 runs, 151 metres. Yeah, 3 line break assists, 1 try assist. I thought he was really, really good, Stephen Crichton. His best game in the Bulldogs jersey, in my opinion. And as I said, he's been good. This is me trying to criticise Crichton at all. So he's been really good so far. I just think the Bulldogs, their best options to either put him at fullback or put Connor Tracy at fullback and keep Wilson in, because he's been one of their best. And I could not believe that he was dropped for Adokar for this one. In terms of some other standout performers for the For the Bulldogs, I thought Jacob Preston was really, really good. He also missed a bit of time with a head knock, I think it was. I think he had a pretty bad cut. But yeah, I thought he was really good when he was on the field. Viliami Kikau, he's still dangerous. Didn't quite, hit the highs of the last game, but he's been playing really good. But again, I think the big thing for the Bulldogs in this one was their bench rotation. When they brought them on, it really swung momentum of the game, particularly Curtis Moran. He only played 23 minutes. He also ended up getting sin-binned. But I thought his runs off the bench were so, so good, and his tackles. I love him as a player for the Bulldogs. Just one of those players, you see him pull that jersey on, you're like, that's a Bulldog. That is exactly when you think of a Bulldogs player. Curtis Moran, he's what I think of. I love him. I thought he was really good, and he provided a lot of impact off the bench. But once again, Josh Curran doing his thing, 58 minutes off the bench, 136 metres, etc. Like, Josh Curran has been a fantastic signing. It's so weird because he's not a front rower, but again, he's just a footballer. You want him out in the field, and he does his job. What I did find really weird about the Bulldogs game in this one, though, was Samuel Hughes played like no game time, 14 minutes from Sam Hughes. He had an error in that time as well, to my knowledge, but someone that they were so high on and they're not giving him minutes. Liam Knight, the starting front rower, played 14 minutes himself. So Sam Hughes and Liam Knight combined for 28 minutes as a starting front rower and the bench front rower. Max King obviously played 54 and had his best game of the season, in my opinion, for the Doggies. But surely you're putting more minutes into Knight or Hughes. Especially Hughes. You've tipped him as your future. Let him run that. Yeah, I couldn't for the life of me believe it. But hey, I thought their bench was good regardless. I didn't think Hughes had a really bad game. Obviously, limited game time, and he did have an error. But he tried hard, and he looks good out there. But yeah, I really like what I'm seeing from the Doggies, to be honest. Obviously didn't get the win in this one, but I thought their forward pack stood up. I thought Reid Marnie had another really good game. I haven't been, impressed with Marnie in Bulldogs colours since he's come to the club, really. But this year he's standing up. He's had some really good performances. Yeah, their forward pack stood up in this one. They were definitely better than the Rabbitohs forward pack. Unlucky not to get the win, but you get that. I think there's a lot of people complaining about the refereeing in this one. I didn't know too much into it. I think as a neutral fan, you never really do. You just sit back and enjoy. I think people are being too harsh on the referees, though. Regardless, Bulldogs, don't be too ashamed of that. Rabbitohs are tipped as a bloody premiership threat. Not that I think that they are. And you guys were tipped for still near the wooden spoon. Take that game in stride. You're going to win a lot of games this year, I think. And if not this year, in the next year, you're going to be really good. So still a lot of good things to note. One thing I will say negatively, though, Drew Hutchison, I just don't think they're getting the best value out of him. I don't think he's really hitting the strides that they wanted from him at halfback. I think he's sort of stuffing up a few plays. He's just a bit slow in his release and everything. Not having a poor season, in my opinion. I think a lot of Bulldogs fans are a lot more harsh on him than I am. But I said from the beginning, I don't think Toby Sexton ever should have lost his spot. I think they pull that trigger and they should go back to Toby Sexton sooner rather than later. He's younger. You can build the team around him for the future. He was really good for you last year. I think Toby Sexton, if they can get him at halfback, they're going to go even better. And yeah, as I said, the changes in terms of Taff and Adokar and Tracy and Crichton, if they do that, I'd prefer that. But what do I know? I'm not a NRL coach. But yeah, really good game, this one. Good to see the Bunnies get their first win. But yeah, once again, Bulldogs, hold your heads high. Bulldogs fans, hold your heads high. Yeah, you played well. But we'll move on to the other Friday game. That, of course, being the Broncos and the Cowboys. This is another tip I got wrong. So at the moment, 3 games in, I've got one right, being the Rabbitohs. Broncos, they beat the Cowboys 38-12 in this one. Pretty sure it was maybe not capacity crowd, but yeah, there you go. Just under 46,000 people in attendance of this one, which is mental because the game was in torrential rain. It was diabolical bloody weather conditions for this one. And for almost 46,000 people to brave that and watch this game, I love that. I'm so respectful of that. I love footy as much as anyone or more than most. I'm probably not sitting through the weather. If that game happened, if I've got tickets, I'm probably selling my tickets before I go. Like, it's ridiculous. So massive shout out. The first people I'm shouting out are the crowd. Awesome stuff. I love that. Really good stuff. And if you're a Broncos fan going to that game, really happy with getting a win. A convincing win. They have now stopped the Cowboys' unbeaten streak. So there is now no team in the NRL that is unbeaten. And this is still a Broncos side without Payne Haas and without Reece Walsh, arguably their two best players. And they've just smashed the Premiership heavyweights, the undefeated team in the Cowboys. So fantastic stuff from the Broncos, and awesome stuff for their fans to witness that. But I did think it was a really entertaining game, especially in that first half. It was end to end. Ended up being a bit of a blowout. But by halftime, the scores were 18 or 16. Yeah, 16-12 at halftime. It was end to end. It was one team would score, the other team would go up the other end and score. It was just, despite the rain, they weren't afraid to throw it around and just take risks and take chances. I was so impressed. I was enjoying this game really, really well. A lot. Let's just go with a lot. I'm stuffing up some sentences nowadays. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. We'll start with Cowboys. In terms of standouts for them, look, they had a really, really poor second half. So there's going to be a lot of people that really can't get too much. But in saying about how poor their second half was, I think it's mainly just due to how good the Broncos were. I thought they just played them off the park in the second half in particular. But in terms of standouts for the Cowboys, obviously their fullback, Scott Drinkwater, I thought he was fantastic. He kept trying to conjure anything for the Cowboys in this one. Yeah, just loved what he was doing out there. End the game, 21 runs to 212 metres. He's not particularly a running fullback too, like a lot of what Drinkwater does is he's a playmaker. He's always lurking around, but he's not doing a million runs out of his own end, doing the tough stuff. He's not like James Tedesco in that sort of area. He's not Dylan Edwards. He's a lot more of just a classy, out-the-back sort of footballer, make and create opportunities. But he rolled up the sleeves. He did some tough work in this one. And he was still, making chances in attack. He was really good. He also scored a try off a Kyle Felt back. So that's just good for his efforts. Obviously, tries don't mean anything if you're not getting the win, but hey, it's something. It's something to look at the end of the season. Maybe he picked up one Dally M point in this one. I doubt it. I think Broncos were too good in this game, but maybe he did, and maybe that sets him apart at the end of the season. So you can't fault Scott Drinkwater. I thought he was really, really good. I thought Kyle Felt, who I just mentioned with that bat back, I thought he was really good for the Cowboys in this one. 16 runs, 177 metres, 67 post-contact, a few tackle breaks. Technically, I don't know if it counts as a try assist, the bat back, but to me, that's a try assist. He's done the work there. But yeah, I just thought he was really good. A lot of work out of his own end, so big respect to Kyle Felt. He's playing really, really well. Obviously, he's got Sammy Valemai snapping at his heels. He was really good last year, Valemai. So for Kyle Felt to be playing like this, it's really good stuff for the Cowboys. It creates a really good headache. And I don't see him losing that spot with performances like this. So really good from him. Valentine, another indifferent game. He's been very inconsistent this season. Like, he's been good and he played good. He scored a try, but there's just a lot of soft errors and a few missed tackles coming out of Valentine Holmes that, you shouldn't really be seeing. So yeah, a bit of an indifferent game. How many errors did he make? Yeah, 3 errors. Oh my God. Scott Drinkwater had 5, by the way. Jesus. I can't recall that many from Scott Drinkwater. That is crazy. But yeah, Valentine, not a really poor game, but from what we expect of Valentine Holmes, he's one of the best centres in our competition. Yeah, probably just expect a little bit more. He did score a try for fantastic short side raid down the left-hand side for the Cowboys. And then Murray Talangi put in a bit of a banana kick off the side of the boot into the lap of Valentine Holmes, who scored a try. So that was a really cool try and really good stuff for him. But I think just want a bit more out of Valentine. They've got the Titans this week. Let's see how he goes there. He probably has a 10 out of 10 game and shuts me up. But I'd like to see a bit more consistency from Valentine. But yeah, definitely not a bad game. Murray Talangi, I thought he was pretty good for the Cowboys as well. The big one I thought in their forward pack was, I thought Jordan McLean had one of his best games I have ever seen, to be honest. Just really, really rolled up the sleeves, did a lot of hard work. Thought he was massive for the Cowboys. Their forward pack really floundered, in my opinion, against the Broncos. They got absolutely rolled off the park, but the only person, in my opinion, who can really hold his head high was Jordan McLean. 13 runs, 135 metres, 64 of those being post-contact. No bloody, tackle breaks, but you don't really expect that. We had one tackle break, I suppose. But, yeah, I thought Jordan McLean, I thought he was a bit of a colossus in the middle. I liked his work. In only 46 minutes too, so you got to respect that. Tamalolo, he played 49. I know that they're trying to reduce his workload, but I don't understand it. I guess it's a blowout. I can't remember exactly, what periods of the game he was playing, but he needs to be playing more. I understand he's got the problem in his knee and you want to extend his lifeline in the NRL, but he needs to be playing more. 8 runs, 92 metres, 94 metres. There you go. He's averaging a lot off his runs. You just need him to play more. You need him running the ball more. Yeah, I don't know really what to do there, but I want more from Tamalolo, and I think the Cowboys just need to give him that license to roam. Not even roam, just that license to play out there more. We know he's fit enough. They're just trying to stop him from getting injured, but it's Tamalolo. He's never really been too much of an injury-prone player in his career. I don't know. It's just don't know what to do there. Thought Cotter was fine, but the big one in this was their bench. Like over the other couple of weeks this season, I think their bench has been their best aspect. The Cowboys, they've created a lot of inroads just from bringing players on. I thought Griffin Neame, I thought he was poor in this one. Massive Griffin Neame fan. Made my team of the week off the bench last week. Thought he was pretty poor. Came with a couple errors in this one, but none of their players coming off that bench really provided too much spark. But once again, I think a lot of it has to go down to how the Broncos played. I thought they were really, really good. Their forward pack just dominated them across the park, and you've got to give them their dues rather than criticise the Cowboys. But a few standout performances for the Broncos. Tristan Sailor, I mean, everybody says it. It's not just me. I don't know how there's not another NRL club out there that is throwing money at him and giving him that fullback role. Teams like the Raiders, obviously they're believing in their young guns and Chevy Stewart, and, you've still got Jordan Rapinoe who's been performing there. But Tristan Sailor is a gun. He's so exciting. He's so electric. I don't know, there's plenty of teams that I think he'd be the best fullback in the club just by walking into their building. I don't know, bro. Regardless, 24 runs from Tristan Sailor, 192 run meters, 5 tackle breaks. He was he was everywhere. And the thing is, he's grown up playing 5'8". He's grown up playing in the halves as well. He has that kicking game. I'm pretty sure he forced a few dropouts just off deft little kicks. He's got so many dimensions to his game, does Tristan Sailor. Yeah, really, really confused why there's not more clubs snapping at his heels. The fact that we were almost going to lose him to Super League, or his dad was saying... Wendell, his dad being, saying that he probably should go to Super League to improve his game and just get game time. How is that even a question for a player as talented as Tristan Sailor? I have no idea, but yeah, an incredible game from him. Thought he was excellent. Once again, Tony Staggs, I've been really impressed with how he's been playing this year. People sit here and say he should have more runs than 12 a game. Honestly, I'm fine with him making 12 runs a game, 117 metres. I love what he brings. I've said it in some other podcasts. I think he's the hardest centre to handle one-on-one. I've never seen him be hit in contact, or even when he's tackling and it's not 110%. He's so hard to handle. Thought he was really good. Not necessarily a game that stands out in the stats department, though he did score a try. How were his tackle breaks? Let's have a look. Only 2 tackle breaks. That's Tony Staggs. That's crazy. No, I thought Katoni was really, really, really good. His centre partner, I thought Selwyn was really good. We'll get to it. Oh, sorry, for the Cowboys. Let's go back. The try saver from Tom Dearden on Selwyn Cobbo. I was screaming. I was out of my chair. That was so good. One of the best try savers I have ever seen. If you guys didn't see this game, search that up. Go have a look at it. Oh, there's nothing better. Selwyn running the length of the field. Selwyn's a fast dude, and just the effort areas from Tom Dearden to chase and chase and chase. And he made that tackle on a faster, on a bigger bloke. That's what you want from your captain. That's the reason he is the captain of the club now. I love that from Tom Dearden. I thought he was really good in general. just didn't have the go forward off his forward pack to really make many inroads. But efforts like that, you cannot fault players like that. So big shout out Tom Dearden for that one and for having a good game in general. But yeah, back to Selwyn. Thought he played really well, obviously. Yeah, didn't get that try. Millimetres away from getting a try if he wasn't run down there. But he had 179 metres. Of course, you know, a lot of that would have come off one run. But I think he was good. He's made me look like a fool. I didn't think he could do this transition to the centres, but he's doing it and he's looking really good. Love that from Cobbo. Dean Mariner was really good. A lot more work in this one, which is something that I was a bit dubious about whether he could do. But yeah, 15 runs, 155 metres from Dean Mariner. Really good stuff. Ezra Mam had his best game of the season, in my opinion. Again, a player with effort areas. He made the cover tackle on, I think it was Murray Talangi, to dislodge the ball. There's no need for a little 5'8" to be running back where he was and to make that tackle and to hit him with everything he's got and do that. So you got to absolutely love that in your team. Playing really good football, Ezra Mam, and yeah, best game of the season here. He ran the ball 11 times, 100 metres, scored that try. Just, yeah, fantastic stuff. And as I said, the effort areas and defence is what you want to see. A player who did make my team of the week, albeit off the bench, Adam Reynolds, kicked the team to death. 14 points purely in goal kicks. Didn't run the ball much. That's bloody Adam Reynolds. But he had a couple try assists in this one. But as I said, what really won them the game was his kicking game. He really turned them around, really got them trying to work it, you know, back off their own end, and it was really tough stuff. 650 metres he kicked for in this game. That is a lot. Yeah, thought Adam Reynolds, as I said, he made my team of the week purely based on his kicking game. He was tremendous, and it goes to show what difference he makes to this side. Obviously, last week, they didn't look, you know, lost of control, void of control, but you can see the difference. It's glaringly obvious what difference he makes. He's one of the best halfbacks in the NRL. I think it's the biggest mistake South Sydney have probably ever made in their club's history is letting him walk because they didn't want to offer him a longer term deal. It is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But yeah, Adam Reynolds, fantastic. There's not much more you can say. He was absolutely superb, and that's why he made my team of the week. One of the best out there. As I said, though, the reason the Broncos won this game was their forward pack. I thought they just stood up. They took it to the Cowboys forward pack, and they won. They won quite clearly. Fletcher Baker, 118 metres. Corey Jensen, 146 metres. Their big dog, Paddy Carrigan, 207 metres. I mean, yeah, what can you say about Pat Carrigan? I already said it earlier. I'll give him a shout-out every week. He's probably my second favourite player in the NRL that isn't named Sean Johnson. Yeah, just what can you say? Also another player who made my team of the week off the bench. Just fantastic stuff. Didn't play the full game. He got a 6-minute spell, so I'm sure he was fresh and he'll be fresh for next game after that. But yeah, fantastic stuff from Carrigan. Another one I want to say is off their bench, Corey Oates. He only played 14 minutes. He came in on the back row in that role. Looked really good and scored a try in his 14 minutes on the field. So really cool stuff to see from Corey Oates. I'd still love to see him push his way back into this side. I don't know where, you know, that they're performing, the Broncos, and their backline's performing. But yeah, love Corey Oates. And another one I'll just give a quick shout out to, doesn't show up on the stats, but Jordan Ricky, his effort areas, fantastic again. His kick chases was some of the best I've seen in general, like ever. He was just 100 miles an hour to get there and to shut them down. And that's the thing. That's how I think the Broncos won this game. It was off Adam Reynolds' kicks, which were pin perfect, and it was off the effort areas of the Broncos, and particularly Jordan Ricky to just have those effort areas to chase those down and pin them down there. So big shout out to Jordan Ricky for that one. But that one will wrap us up for the Broncos-Cowboys game. I'm going so overtime with all of these things. We'll move into the next game of the round. That, of course, being the St. George Illawarra Dragons, who defeated the Manly Sea Eagles 20-12. Massive upset here. Loved it. This one was obviously down in the gong. Really love this from the Dragons. I want a close competition. I want close games. And this is what I want to see. I want to see any team, even the bottom teams, give it to the best teams in the NRL whenever they can, whenever they feel like it. We got that. I think a lot of it was purely down to how poor the Seagulls were. They started on fire. Kohler scored in like the first 3 minutes off a Tom Trebojevic offload, which was ridiculous. It was about 5 people tackling Trbojevic, and he flung it out the back. I don't know how he got that ball away, but got it up to Colo, who scored a try. Don't even know what you can say about that. Go give that one a watch if you missed it. Fantastic stuff from that. But beyond that, they didn't fire another shot. It's crazy that their first try came in the 3rd minute, and their only other try, their last try, came in the 76th. So, yeah, they had really flat attack. They were quite slow in all of their deliveries and all of their passing. They did not look to fire a shot. I think, Tom Trbojevic, besides that early try assist, that early offload and pass to Tolutau Kula, I thought he had his worst game I have ever seen. It was really, really poor. Let's look at the errors. Where are you? 5 errors, and they were soft errors. I've never seen Trbojevic make errors, or like he would make one, but what he was doing in this game was so poor and so out of character for Trbojevic. And I think, this is what we're also concerned about. Not so concerned, I suppose that's the wrong word, but like, I've never seen this come from Trbojevic. He looked a bit disinterested. He looked like there was something troubling him off the field, and that's a bit of a worry because I've never seen Trbojevic look like that. But yeah, really, really, really poor game from Turbo in this one. But we will let's try and get into a few more positives for the Seagulls before we go into the Dragons, where there was a lot more positives. I thought Luke Brooks, I thought he tried really hard, didn't really conjure too much. I think he might have had a couple errors himself. Did Luke Brooks? Let's have a quick look there. No errors, but tried really hard. 13 runs, 96 metres. I think the sort of backline players, particularly Trbojevic, which I'll try not to harp on about too much, I think they really, really let down Luke Brooks, and I think they really let down the forward pack. I thought the forward pack was actually pretty good. They stood up. They gave it to this Dragons forward pack. They made a couple errors here and there, but they definitely didn't just keel over and die. They tried hard all night, the forwards. So if I was them, I'd be quite disappointed from just how your backs played. Really disappointing stuff. But let's read out some stats here. Taniela Paseka, 19 runs, 186 metres, 86 post contact. Josh Aloye, 14 runs, 139 metres. Homalea Olakawato, 19 runs, 205 metres, 103 post-contact. Trbojevic, as in Ben variety, had 95 minutes and only 40-something minutes on the field. And, of course, off the bench, we had players like Nathan Brown doing his usual thing, 14 runs, 138 metres. Yeah, I thought they were really let down by their backs, unfortunately. But if you're one of those Manly forwards, you've got to hold your head high. Yeah, you can't. I'm hoping they don't cop too much of the blame for the loss in this one. Unfortunately, there weren't too many other standouts for the Seagulls. Yeah, I think Luke Brooks tried hard in their forward pack. For the most part, stood up. But besides that, not too much to talk about. So we'll go into the Dragons. Let's try and be positive, and we can be quite positive for the Dragons here. I thought they were really, really good. Starting with, I want to go straight to Luciano Leilua. There's been a lot of criticisms and a lot of chat about him this year, last year, let's say across his career. But with how it all sort of played out at the Cowboys and how he's found his way back here, talk and concerns of being a bit up himself, being a bit lazy, not wanting to fight for that spot. Doesn't look like it while he's here. I know you come to the Dragons, you come under a Shane Flanagan coach side. He's going to get the best out of you, and he is. Luciano Leilua, I thought he's been fantastic in his few games for the Dragons in this one. I wanted to give him a spot in my team of the week. I didn't quite. There were other performers that played better, but I thought he was tremendous. 13 runs, 122 metres, 40 post contact, 3 tackle breaks. Any offloads? No offloads from Luciano Leilua. That's a bit different. 33 tackles, yeah. Thought Luciano Leilua has been really, really good for the Dragons. And his second row partner, Jaden Sewer. I mean, you guys know I've been raving about Sewer all season. He scored a try in this one. He also played fantastic. It's one of the better second row partnerships across the entire league, and I think people are sort of glossing over that. But yeah, Sewer and Leilua, love how they're playing for the Dragons. Thought they were really, really good. Beyond that, let's go to Tyrell Sloan. He's been consistent this year. This is what we've asked for. He doesn't need to have 10 out of 10 games every week, but he needs to do the effort areas. He's been doing that. He scored 2 tries in this one. Even beyond that, if he scored 0 tries, it's just his positioning and the way he's holding himself on the field. I'm really happy with how he's playing. He only ran for 85 metres from 10 runs. But once again, it's not necessarily about the stats for Tyrell Sloan. It's not about scoring 2 tries. It's not about any of that. It's just how he looks out there, how confident, how happy he looks, and just the effort areas he's putting in, the defence that he's putting in. Yeah, Tyrell Sloan, he's been really, really good for the Dragons this year, and I'm really happy for him. I had a lot of concerns about whether or not he could stay in the NRL. I thought he just didn't show enough, and I thought he was just going to fizzle out and we weren't going to see anything from him. I was wrong. Well, from what I've seen so far, I've been wrong, and I'm really happy about that. Yeah, really good stuff from Tyrell Sloan. Zach Lomax, I've said it every week, just incredible efforts again. 22 runs, 177 metres. He's just doing really, really good stuff for the Dragons. Looks like he's going to ask for another release. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon, but he's obviously quite unsettled. But it's really odd because the way he's playing, it tells a complete opposite story. Fantastic game from Zach Lomax once again. Jack Bird, a player who did make my team of the week. Maybe controversially, there were other really good centre performances this week that maybe could have pushed him out, but I thought Jack Bird was fantastic. I thought he was, one of the top 2 centres this week. He scored a try. He had 19 runs, 179 metres. 3 tackle breaks. And defensively, I thought he was really good once again. He's one of the better defensive centres in our competition. So, really impressed with how Jack Bird started this season and how he played in this one. Shock horror, getting another rap from me. I've given it to him every week. Thought he's been fantastic and, really good game here. Ravalawa, he was good. He was hard to handle. Kyle Flanagan, once again, playing really, really good for the Dragons, in my opinion. I really hope they continue to get around him and, don't just, when it all starts going wrong, sorry, I'm not going to cut that out, but some outside noise there. If things start going wrong, I hope Kyle Flanagan isn't the scapegoat because he's been fantastic. A couple line break assists. He had another try assist in this one as well. And he kicked well in his, little kicking that he had. I thought he just picked his moments well. Obviously, most of the kicking will go to your halfback and Ben Hunt, who once again played really well as well. So, look, there's a lot of Dragons players in here that can get a lot of raps. I thought they were really, really good. But Ben Hunt, another really good game. He had the banana kick bloody try assist to Tyrell Sloan, which was so gorgeous to watch. There's nothing better than seeing a banana kick in the NRL. And when they come off, it's Joey-esque, and even, the days of Thurston and Bowen linking up off them as well. I love seeing that stuff. But really cool to see that from Ben Hunt. The confidence in him as a player. He seems like he wants to be there, or even if he doesn't, he's not playing like that, same as Zach Lomax. So really good game from Ben Hunt. In terms of other standouts, their forward pack really stood up. I've already given the second row as a wrap. But off the bench, I thought Jack DeBellin was incredible. He ended up playing 62 minutes off the bench. So he would have come on after 18 minutes and played the rest of the game straight. 21 runs, 156 metres, 57 post-contact metres. Only the 1 tackle break. But he was everywhere. A couple of offloads. Very, very unlucky not to feature in my team of the week off the bench. Obviously, I gave that position to Jaman Hopgood, but Jack DeBellin had his best game of the season and it was off the bench. I don't mind it. I didn't think he'd have the impact. I thought he was perfect as their starting lock forward or even as a front rower. Just the hard stuff he does and what he provides. I didn't know he really had the impact that he could provide off the bench, but he proved me wrong. He looked fantastic. So, love that from Jack DeBellin, and that'll wrap us up for the little the chat here. But fantastic win from the Dragons. I'm so happy for them. As I said, I want close competitions. I just want everybody to play really well and everybody to be able to beat anyone on their day. And so far, every team this season has showed they can do that. Maybe except for the Titans, so we will get to. But really happy for this. And Dragons fans, God, I'm so happy for you guys. You deserve this. It's been a tough old couple seasons. But really love that. Seagulls fans, look, I wouldn't be too worried. It was just one of those games where everything went wrong. Your best player and the key to your success was really, really poor. I think you sort of just wipe this one from the memory and say, look, forget about it. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. We wipe it from our memory. We go again next week. I'm still pretty big on the Seagulls this year. So, yeah, don't worry about that too much. Disappointing result for sure. But, yeah, you move on from that. And moving on from that, we will be to the next game of the round, being the Titans, who we just spoke about, and the Dolphins. So, Titans, they lost this game 14-30. They did look all right. The opening 20 minutes or so, honestly, the entire first half, if you will, I thought they had really good moments. I thought they were really good, to be honest. They their forward pack stood up in that opening half, especially the opening 20, where they were the better side by a fair substantial margin. Like, you can see something there, which is something I hadn't seen from them this year at all. Like, I'm not high on them as I was, but, you know, after this, I'll purchase one single stock back in the Titans after I sold them all last week. But no, I think there's something there. Yeah, they can get something this season. Could be a long road, but yeah. Hopefully you can't be. I mean, you got to be disappointed, but hopefully you're not really, really upset. There is something. There's something there, Titans fans. Just be patient. Let's start with their standouts to be honest, give them a bit of love. I thought Jaden Campbell back, obviously his first game of the season, I thought he was really, really good for the Titans. He was really electric. He looked threatening every time he touched the ball. He just glides across the field so well. But yeah, I thought he had a lot of really good moments, 188 metres from 18 runs, had a line break, had 4 tackle breaks. Really good game from Jaden Campbell. Look, Keanu Keeney, I think he might just be a bit off, a bit far off where Jaden is. Would you expect? Jaden's had a lot more time in the NRL. Keeney was one of the Titans' better players in the opening couple rounds, but it's crazy to see what a difference it makes having Campbell back in this side. Thought he was really, really good for the Titans. Philip Sammy, another player who was incredibly unlucky to miss out on my team of the week. I probably could have had him over Connor Tracy. Maybe my bias got in the way. But not Connor Tracy. Well, Connor Tracy did have a fantastic game, but we've already spoken about him. Philip Sammy shrugged off the hip drop from Max Plath, which we will get to. Shrugged off that and just rolled up the sleeves. 22 runs, 229 metres, 2 tries, 3 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks. Like, yeah, I thought he was absolutely tremendous. Definitely his best game for the season for the Titans. He was really, really good. Look, AJ Brimson, he's having his moments at centre. I don't know if it's his best position. It's definitely not his best position. I don't know what to do with it all. I don't know. The Titans are a scary team. I'm just going to sit back and watch them, but I don't know what they're going to do with him. He has his moments. He does look threatening in a few stages. But then you see him be threatening and you're just like, God, I want him back at fullback. But then you see how Jaden Campbell plays at fullback and you're like, okay, well, what do you do? It's a tough situation for the Titans, but hopefully they can figure it out, as I said. But yeah, their forward pack was the big one in this one. I thought they just stepped up in a way that they hadn't in the last few weeks. They weren't exceptional by any means, but for the first half, I thought they really stood up to the Dolphins. Fodawaker, 11 runs, 122 metres. Jamin Jolliffe also had 11 runs for 119. It's weird, though, that Fodawaker, you know, he played 56 minutes. He's playing increased minutes in Tino's absence, which he should be, but he's not making as many runs as I thought he would be. I believe... Yeah, Kenan Palacio, who was named there, was a late scratching. David Fifita obviously came onto the bench. I didn't think it was going to be Palacio who made way. I don't quite know what the go is there. Don't know if it was a injury or if it's performance-based or whatever. But he's someone who also needs to step up big for the Titans if he gets his way back on this side. Their best performer in terms of the forward pack, though, was David Fifita. Started off the bench. He ended up playing 55 minutes straight once he came on. 12 runs, 129 metres. He had a line break assist, I think it was. He put someone away down the left-hand side, I believe it was. Yeah, either way, yeah, had a tackle break, whatever it is. Not necessarily the best performance from stats, but he looks threatening. He looks dangerous. It is no coincidence that they played their best game of the season after David Fifita and Jaden Campbell joined the side, two of their most important players. Really important for them to be playing good footy, and they did in this one. Fifita, he'll probably move into that 80-minute second row role soon enough. Probably displacing Cleese Haas or moving Burfilm to the right. I'm not sure what they'll do there. But, there's something there, Titans fans. Be patient. You can get some wins. But that's sort of all for their standouts. So let's go to the Dolphins, who won this game, and they had a lot more standouts. Hammer, once again, fantastic game. Scored another try, 18 runs, 164 metres. I think he had a kick or two, which were little deft kicks, and he looked good. He's got a lot of strings to his bow, Hammer. Really good stuff from him. Herbie Farnworth, he scored his first try in Dolphins colours, which was good. I ended up getting up on my bet in this game because of his and Jack Bostock's try-scoring effort. So I love that from him, from both of them, respectfully. Herbie thought he was really, really good. Jermaine Asako, 23 runs for 198 metres. Hasn't obviously scored as many tries this year as he did last year, but he, had a line break and had that try assist to Herbie as well. And when you're working that hard, you take that. He also kicked 5 from 5 from the boot, so he can impact the game in a lot of different ways. Asako, I'm loving. He's one of those Dolphins players already that, Dolphins, we don't really know about their DNA as a club. They're brand new. We have to figure that out. But Jermaine Asako, he feels like a Dolphin to me. This is where he's always belonged, and the team hadn't even existed for a while. So I love what he brings to the team. We'll get to some other players. Isaiah Katoa, I think he looks so good. He's already grown so much from last year. It was obviously very, very young, and he's just re-signed, which is great stuff for the Dolphins. They can build a club around him. There was deficiencies in his game last year, which you expect first year in the NRL. Very small body. He's going to miss tackles. They're going to target him. He looks so controlled out there already for a 19-year-old, maybe a 20-year-old now. Love what he's doing at halfback. It's tough for Sean O'Sullivan, who is missing the side and brings that experience, but what Isaiah Katoa is bringing right now is fantastic. I do think Cody Nikorima has been pretty poor, pretty disappointing so far this year at 5'8". There's potential that Sean O'Sullivan can make his way back into this side, but right now I think Isaiah Katoa at halfback is fantastic. He has been really, really good. I love what I'm seeing from him. So let's get into the Jesse Bromwich chat. Obviously, a player who made my team of the week, and when we read these numbers, you're going to think that he didn't deserve it, and you're going to think that even his front row partner and Tom Flegler deserved it over him. So Jesse Bromwich, in 46 minutes on the field, had 6 runs for 76 metres, which, that's good running, but only 6 runs. He didn't break a tackle. He didn't have a line break. He didn't do anything remarkable, or did he? Well, I thought it was his best performance in a Dolphins jersey, to be honest. What he brings, obviously, is something that can't be measured in stats regardless, like his experience and his way of winning and the way he just knows rugby league. It can't be measured in stats, but if you watch this game, or if you watch closely after I mention this, you can see what he does bring, or what he at least brought to this game right here, because I thought he was incredible. I think he was a big reason that the Dolphins were able to take control of the game, particularly in that second half when he came back on for his second stint. So he had 2 line break assists and a try assist, but let's talk about them. There is a couple of, let's see how many offloads he made in this game, because there's a couple I want to talk about in particular. There you go, 2 offloads. So Jesse Bromwich, what his game, besides just the hard running and poking his nose through the line, as evidence from making 76 metres from only 6 runs, he was able to free that arm a fair bit. And it just the second phase play that the Dolphins were able to capitalize. They capitalized on his second phase play. So there's the offload he made to start the short side break. He's in a tackle. He frees that arm. He releases it. They go right. Jermaine Asako makes the break on the right hand side, and finds Herbie Farnworth back inside for a try. All that's going to go for on the stat sheet is one offload for Jesse Bromwich. But he's the catalyst for that movement. That's essentially a try assist. It goes through many sets of hands for that to happen. But without that offload, and what an offload it was, they don't score that try. So there's one. He obviously does come up with his own little try assist when he puts Josh Kerr over for a try. So that is a try assist on his stat sheet. That is looking good. But once again, it is just the facets of his game, the offloading, the way he can poke his nose through, just his knowledge and control of the game. You really need to watch what he does on the field to know how impactful he was. I thought he was the best front rower of the entire round this week. And yeah, stats people, they're going to hate me saying that, but go back, watch this game. Just keep an eye on Jesse Bromwich whenever he's on the field. He is absolutely tremendous. What he did for the Dolphins, he was the catalyst for their comeback, and for them to run away with this game, it was essentially all off the back of him. So massive shout out Jesse Bromwich. Flegler, his front row partner, he also had a try assist in this one. He what was it? He bumped off, ran straight over the top of Tanner Boyd at one point, freed the offload to, I think it was Hammer to cross, which, by the way, the entire movement in that, we will get to that. But Flegler, he ran 115 runs, 149 metres, really good game from him. I thought the second rowers for the Dolphins were tremendous. They look like they've locked down their positions. Felice Kaufusi was so good, what he brings in defense, what he brings in his veteran experience, but he also ran the ball 11 times for 118 metres, while Ewan Aitken ran the ball 17 times for 147 metres. Look, let's talk about the Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow try, just so we can highlight how good this Dolphins team is looking. So this one, I'm not going to lie, this is almost a script that I've written down here. I'm just going to read what I wrote down in the moment. So the lead-up shape for the Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow try, just fantastic. Everyone is hitting their assignments in the shape perfectly because the space between Aitken and Flegler is just minuscule, and the way that Katoa threads that needle with his pass to hit Flegler out the back is so impressive. And if you're not watching that and keeping an eye on that in general, you're going to miss that sort of stuff. But it is picture perfect. There is no space to work with in that one. And Katoa threads that needle. It's fantastic. Flegler obviously steamrolls Tanner Boyd and finds the hammer with a fantastic offload. One of the best tries you'll see this year. When I'm talking the best tries you see this year, I'm not talking the absolute most exciting. But as a coach, when you're playing football like that, it is so good to watch because you know that you as a coach and your players are hitting their assignments. It's so good. But I just that play alone really it included a lot of players that were really, really good in this game, but it encapsulated how the Dolphins were able to play and how they're playing so far this year. So yeah, really, really good stuff from them. Really happy for the Dolphins. Lastly, I will quickly say Jack Bostock, he scored 2 tries. I think it did well to mask his performance. I thought he was quite poor. Again, he's running well. He's doing the hard yards, but he's making too many simple errors, like really simple errors. I think he's been caught out in defense on multiple occasions as well. I think he is in danger of losing that position, to be honest. He's lucky he scored 2 tries. I still think Wayne's going to notice what he was doing and have a chat to him. And yeah, there's going to be a bit of pressure on him. So anyway, we'll move past that. We'll move into the next game of the round. I'm spending way too long on this podcast. Next game of the round, Warriors and Knights. My Warriors. Oh, sorry. Let's quickly talk about the Max Plath hip drop. Now, it's one of the worst hip drop tackles I have ever seen. Maxi Plath, straight to the sin bin, deserved it. He's looking to miss 2 weeks now. Got no issues with that whatsoever. I know Plath obviously didn't intend to do that, did not intend to injure. It's just a tackle that went wrong. But we need to stamp that out of our game because it was terrifying. Very, very lucky Philip Sami wasn't seriously injured from that. Really, really upsetting to see that. And I'm completely fine with, Plath missing a few games. One of the good guys of the NRL, it seems, Max Plath. Obviously, he didn't intend to do that, but we need to stamp that out of our game. So that's all I want to say about it. Really, really unlucky and unfortunate that happened. And, we're really lucky that Sammy was not seriously injured from that. But now we will move into the Warriors Knights game. I'm going to try and quick time this sort of stuff. I've got so much to do today, and instead I'm chatting footy because I love footy. But no, Warriors Knights, I thought it was a really entertaining game. It was very free-flowing. Not too many penalties given off the start, at least not to my memory. It just seemed to be quite free-flowing. Both teams started pretty well. They defended well, and they were just not afraid to throw the ball around. So I was really, really enjoying how this game sort of played out, especially to start. And obviously, I'm quite happy with the result as a Warriors fan. It was really unfortunate to see Luke Metcalf go down injured. I thought he's been playing some really, really good footy this year. It looks like he could miss about 10 weeks, I think the NRL physio said, with a fracture to his leg. Really upsetting stuff to see that. I thought he was playing some really good footy, and he was really nailing down that position. He's obviously re-signed, so they see him as the future. In saying that, I'm also excited to see Chanel Harris-Tavita. I assume he's going to get that role. He seems to have jumped ahead of Tamare Martin in the pecking order for the 5/8 jersey. Even if we do see Tamare Martin, I'm not opposed to that. I'm a big Tamare Martin fan as well. But I think we'll get Chanel Harris-Tavita in that role. And I'm excited for that. I really am. We'll find out today. This is obviously coming up on the Tuesday, so we'll get Teamless Tuesday today. Excited to see Chanel Harris-Tavita take that role if he does get it, because I'm a massive fan of him. But, it is disappointing to see Luke Metcalf go down the way he did, because he was playing some really good footy. In terms of other standouts for the Warriors, let's start with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, the fullback. 29 runs, 283 metres, 103 post-contact metres, 7 tackle breaks, 0 line break assists. He ran for, not line break. Well, he did have 0 line break assists, 0 line breaks. He ran for almost 300 metres without breaking the line once. How good is that? I'm seeing everywhere, too much that he should stay at fullback. I think that is so stupid to say, even based on a performance like this. We've got CNK. We came 4th last year with CNK. CNK had a fantastic season as our fullback. Move Roger back to centre and let CNK go to work. However, just on this game alone, Roger was absolutely fantastic. I mean, there's not too much you can say. There's that moment I posted on the story on the Instagram, where he does the double left foot step and then bumps off Adam Elliott. I was screaming. It was so good to watch. I love it. His eyes don't even move. He's just painted looking wherever he's looking. The deception he's got, I don't know. It's just, fantastic performance from Roger. His best game since coming back to the NRL. Sure enough, it's at fullback. It's probably his best position, but I'm happy to keep him at centre and give CNK the go at fullback. We know what CNK can do, but fantastic game from Roger in this one. The wingers for the Warriors, I mentioned that Marcelo Montoya was really close to making my team of the week for the wing. I thought he was so good. The effort areas that he had coming out of his own end, I think he only came out with 1 or 2 line breaks, but just a lot of half breaks that he made. Lots of runs that he was just making inroads, finding his front, quick play the balls. He also scored a fantastic try where he just competed for the ball and won out there and scored a try off that. So Marcelo Montoya, really close to my team of the week. I thought he had a fantastic game in this one. And his wing partner, Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, I've mentioned it the last couple of podcasts, but his efforts in coming out of his own end have become as important or even more important than his try-scoring ability. He is a freak. He took 21 runs for 198 metres in this one, 76 post-contact. Just runs so hard. By the way, Montoya, 21 runs for 156. So when you've got 2 wingers like that, they're some of the best in the comp of bringing it out of your own end. And that's a art that's become so needed, so valuable in the NRL today, is wingers that can do that. And these two do it like they're some of the best in the NRL to do it. So fantastic stuff from them. Really love their performance. I thought Sean Johnson had a good game. Obviously, he was kicking again in this one with Luke Metcalf out. slotted 3 from 3, got the penalty goal, so 100% conversion rate, cool stuff. Had the ball to Jackson Ford to put him over, so nice try assist there. I think he was just played a really controlled game from halfback, and he's balancing his running game and every other facet of his game really, really well. So I love what I'm seeing from Sean Johnson. Wade Egan back in the starting side. I've said it in the other game, or at least in the one game that he's played this year. He's quickly turned into one of the most complete hookers in our game. I'd argue he's the second best hooker in the NRL at the moment, behind Harry Grant, who honestly you could say Apasai Coruscant, he's probably second, to be honest. But I'd have Wade Egan so far this year, so far last year, above players like Damien Cook and above players like Reece Robson at the moment. I think he's severely out of sight, out of mind because he plays for the Warriors. But you can see the bearing he has in the game, how he played in this one, fantastic. Obviously came up with the line break from dummy half and that try assist to Chanel Harris-Tavita from that line break. 41 tackles, 0 missed, played the full 80. Just a fantastic game from Wade Egan. Yeah, we're such a different footy side when he's in the side, and I've already talked about that, so I won't spend too much time on that, but fantastic stuff from Egan. Once again, he made my team of the week for the second week running. Mitchell Barnett, 18 runs, 178 metres, 72 post-contact metres. I think he has been the best forward, the best front rower in the club this year. We have Aden Fanua-Blake, so that is massive, massive raps to Barnett. That's not saying Aden's been going bad at all. Fanua-Blake's been superb. He, chalked up 140 metres of his own in this game. He's had his work rate reduced a bit, only playing 44 minutes in this one. I think he was in the 40s last week as well, which I'm fine with. When we're able to win these games, we don't need him on the field playing extended minutes. And Mitch Barnett has really rolled up the sleeves and he's picked up that workload. He's been amazing. I love what he's bringing to the club this year. So very easy pick for my team of the week in the front row position. But yeah, I love what I'm seeing from him. Genuinely one of the best front rows of the year so far is Mitch Barnett. And it's given me a lot more confidence in our forward pack moving forward once AFB departs. So cool stuff to see there. Jackson Ford, Kurt Capewell, fantastic games. Ford also making the team of the week, 14 runs, 139 metres, line break, try, etc. I thought Capewell had a really good game as well. Once again, doesn't get through the amount of work in attack that other players do, but he works so hard in defence. He made 48 tackles. He missed a fair few, missed 6, but playing the full 80. It's a lot of his reads, again, are really good in defence, so you got to respect that. Really good game from him. Tohu Harris, once again, another fantastic game. 19 runs, 148 metres, just really good stuff. But we will try and get through. Let's go to the Knights. Who was their best player? Well, it's got to be Kalen Ponga. I loved the duel that he and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck had. Roger ended up finishing almost 300 metres. KP only 169, which is a bloody good effort in any other game. He had 2 line breaks. He had 2 conversions. He was really, really good. He was so dangerous. Do you have a try assist? What have we got? Yeah, 2 line breaks, 2 line break assists, 1 try assist, 7 tackle breaks. He was superb. Kalen Ponga literally conjured essentially all of the Knights' points. Once again, we'll talk about it, but forward pack is so disappointing this year. They're bringing them nothing. They're not running for any meters. And I know you're up against the Warriors, who have one of the best forward packs in the NRL, and they dominate. But Daniel Saifiti, 7 runs for 63 meters from an Origin front rower in 46 minutes, not good enough. Jacob Saifiti, he 10 runs for 103. It's not awful. It's not bad at all. But Daniel Saifiti, that's not good enough. Adam Elliott, I thought, was pretty average in this one too. I thought their second rowers were good. Tyson Frizzell was pretty close to a team of the week spot as well. Kai Piss-Paul, he's looked good. He's still got a few things to round out in his game, but he's got so much ability. Love what I saw from him. I think Phoenix Crossland this year obviously had a breakout season last year and was tremendous. This year, I've been quite disappointed in him. Jaden Brayley, when he was on the field, though, and he only got 26 minutes again in this one, thought he was amazing when he was on the field. Really picked his moments to dart and run well. Didn't miss a tackle. So Jaden Brayley, maybe they make that change and put him back at starting hooker sooner rather than later, because I think they look so much better with him on the field at the moment. But yeah, I don't think anything is going to matter. You can make all these changes to the to the halves and to your back line and whatnot. I don't think anything is going to make a difference until their forward pack start winning games. So I'm actually a bit worried about the Knights. I don't know how many games they can win this season with their forward pack playing the way that they are. But yeah, standouts, KP, Bradman Best I thought was really, really good in fairness. 26 runs Bradman Best made. Jesus Christ. Yeah, 198 metres. He scored a try, 85 post-contact. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Bradman Best was fantastic. I also thought Inari Tuala was really, really good. He picked up that work rate that Greg Marju has left, obviously being out of the side for a while. 22 runs from Inari Tuala, 228 metres. He had 2 line breaks as well. Did he score a try, Tuala? No. So, or just work rate from Tuala, so really good for him. Unfortunately, Tyson Gamble, I think, had another poor performance. He came up with a really... the poor miss on Jackson Ford, which obviously led to the Warriors try. I don't know. I think maybe Will Price could be the answer there. We'll have to see. But as I said, I don't think it makes a difference with who you change in the halves until the forward pack starts winning. But yeah, standouts for the Knights: Ponga, Best, Tuala, Frizzell, Kai Pierce-Paul. They all had really good games. And Jaden Brayley off the bench I thought was fantastic as well. There's a few worrying signs for the Knights, to be honest. As I said, with the way their forward pack's playing, I don't know how many games they can win. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that all goes. For the Warriors, you've got to be really happy with that. Their defence has really stood up so far this season. And they're winning games. They're winning gritty games now. So I love that for the Warriors. Really happy with the win. Let's move into the second last game of the round, that being the Sharks and the Canberra Raiders. Sharkies winning this one 36-22, but... very different game to what the score reads. The Raiders obviously led this one 18-0 after 23, 24 minutes. They were in complete control. And then they just fumbled the bag, to be honest. They just, I don't know what to say, to be honest. I don't know where it all went wrong. They just imploded, and the Sharkies just rolled them, and they stuck to their structures and they stuck to their game plan. And yeah, they absolutely smashed the Raiders in the end. And they deserved it, Ricky Stewart, very, very animated in the press conference, coming out and saying that not a single player for the Raiders played well. Look, I think it's a bit harsh. Obviously, he's passionate, Ricky, and you'd be furious as a coach to start the way you did and then can lose the way you did. They scored 1 try by the end of the game to bring it back to 22, but yeah, you were up 18-0 and you lose the game 36-22. It's not good enough. Look, they've got a couple decent performances, so let's start with them. I thought Joseph Tarpany, I thought he was good for the Raiders. When they were winning the field position, when they were winning the battle, a lot of it was because of the forward pack, and I thought, Tarpany was really, really good in that. He played 60 minutes in this one, which is a bit of an increase in his minutes. I think, honestly, if they want to win games, they should have him about that 60 minutes. He can obviously chalk it out. He ran the ball 16 times for 169 metres. He had 70 post-contact, 3 offloads, 33 tackles. It's exactly the sort of performance you want from Joseph Tarpany. This is the sort of footy he was playing when he won Dally M Prop of the Year. So fantastic stuff from him. Danny Levi, he scored a try. He's still looked good this season. 63 minutes from him, so a bit more increased in his output. Tom Starling only played 22. I'm not sure what the sweet spot is in that area. Levi's been good, so I'm happy to leave him out there, but I think Tom Starling probably should have got the gig a bit earlier in this game just to try and swing that momentum back. Xavier Savage, very indifferent game. Started the game incredible. He was so electric and really, really hard to handle, but finished the game a lot of soft errors and just... yeah, I don't know. It's a tough old game for Xavier Savage, but he did score a try. He'll learn from it. Look, there's enough in his game and enough that he's been doing so far this season to know that he deserves that spot. Poor second half, but a really good first half. We talk a lot about players needing to be consistent on a week-to-week basis, and he's one of those players. But I think it goes a bit unnoticed when we need them to be consistent half to half first. Let's worry about being consistent throughout the full 80 minutes of a game time, and then we'll worry about week to week. So, yeah, indifferent game from Savage. There were bright spots, but Unfortunately, a few blemishes on his game too. I thought Fogarty, he was really good. I thought he controlled the game really well, and even his kicking game and everything to try and get them back in the game, I thought he was good. Ethan Strange, once again, he's warming into the season well, defended really well, ran the ball really well. He's picking his moments really good. But honestly, that's sort of where it all ends. They weren't necessarily like too many just out and out bad performances from the Raiders, but as a team, they just decided that they didn't want to be there after the first 25 minutes. They just decided, you know what, we're done. And the Sharks, they made them pay for it. So moving into the Sharkies standout performers, their back line again, or their back five, I suppose. Kennedy, he's so classy with every act he does. I love what he brings to this side. Sione Katoa apparently only ran for 117 metres. I thought Katoa was an absolute live wire, real jack in the box. He scored a try, didn't he, Katoa? Yeah. Scored a try. Had the try assist where this goes back to the effort areas of Xavier Savage, but when Savage sort of just meandered back for a ball, was just dawdling back after a kick from Blake Brayley, Sione Katoa flew past him, collected the ball, threw it inside and found Blake Brayley back on the inside who scored a try. That sort of typifies the two different performances in this game. Sione Katoa, fantastic effort areas, fantastic stuff there, while Xavier Savage, not what you really want to see, unfortunately. But Sione Katoa, he was close to my team of the week as well. He had 7 tackle breaks, as I said, the line break, try assist, and a try. Really, really good from him. The centres, Jesse Ramian, once again, one of my favourite players in the NRL. Well, maybe not in the NRL, but one of my just favourites, I suppose. He only had 1 tackle break, but he ran the ball 17 times, 163 metres. He was really, really good. Defended well, did Jesse Ramian. He sent a partner. He stole the show a bit, Kale Iro. Only his second game of first grade, and he scored his first try in this one, which was awesome to see. He took 15 runs for 135 metres himself. And Ronaldo Mulatalo also 12 runs for 117. So good to see every one of their back five running for over 100 metres. And that's without someone like Talakai, who's been their main meter eater in their side so far this season. Braden Trindle, we spoke about him. He made my team of the week for this one. Really, really classy performance from him. He was sort of just everywhere you needed him to be. Fantastic try, just a brilliant just show and go and a solo try from Braden Trindle. I called for him to stamp his authority on the game, and he really did that. And then his lead up work, the try assist he did for Kale Iro in that second half was so sexy. It was really classy stuff from Braden Trindle. So, really loved his performance. Nico Hines, one of his best performances of the season, might have been his best. 152 metres from 20 runs from your halfback. Line break assist, try assist. How many metres did he kick for as well? 324. Really classy performance from Hines. Blake Brayley obviously scored that try, but again, another player who's really improved and knows when to inject himself at the best times for running or passing or kicking. Really good stuff from Blake Brayley. I thought he was tremendous. As I said, very, very close to my team of the week at hooker. Probably could have got a sniff in. And Cameron McInnes, he did get into my team of the week at lock forward. Thought he was amazing. As I said, I love the way he runs in and behind the ruck. One of the best players in the NRL at just finding space behind the ruck. It's an art form that I think's lost a bit. He took 20 runs. He made 150 metres. He had 4 tackle breaks. He had 1 offload, and he made 48 tackles of his own in an 80-minute performance. Fantastic stuff. The last sort of ones, Jack Williams off the bench. He played 45 minutes, 172 metres off the bench. And once again, Tuku Tapua, 19 minutes in this one. And he ran the ball 9 times for 80 metres in his, 19 minutes on the field. He's a colossus. He was running a couple times each set as well. Just really hard to handle. There was one where I think it might have been the start of the second half. They kicked off. He received 20 metres off the kickoff, heaps of post-contact metres, played the ball, they take 1 out, then he's backing up for the third play of the set, and he made another 10-15 metre run. So really love what he's bringing. I love the energy he's got. He's really trying to insert himself into this side. But in terms of the game, Sharkies really, really happy. Sharkies fans and Sharkies players, coaches, whatever, you'd be really happy with how that game ended up playing out. You know, not impressed with how you started the game, sure, but it's about how you respond to that. They responded so well. They grinded, they got back into this game, and they absolutely blew the Raiders off the park. They ran away with it. So fantastic stuff from them. Exciting stuff. It's cool when you can win games like this, when you start yourself behind, you shoot yourself in the foot, and then you come out and you stick to your process and you blow them off the park. So you'd love that. Shows they can win in any way. Raiders, obviously very disappointing. I've been pretty impressed with the Raiders this season, and they started this game. I tipped them in this game as an upset. I thought their forward pack would get it done. Not so much the case, obviously. They started well and then just went away from everything that they were doing well, and they got blown off the park. We'll have to see how they respond from it, but yeah, disappointing game from the Raiders. Regardless, we will move into the final game of round 4, that being the Easter Monday game between the Parramatta Eels and the West Tigers. Probably the game of the round, this one. The Tigers coming away 17-16 victors. How good is that? You love to see it. As I said, I want a close competition, and I want teams that can win whenever they want. This one always shows up. Like, doesn't matter where these teams are on the ladder. Whenever they have this clash, it's always really enjoyable. But yeah, really happy to see the Tigers get away with that win, 17-16. In terms of, let's start with the Tigers, to be honest. So, look, it's, in general, how they've played this game and how they played last week, absolute far cry from their first performance of the year. It's why I've still been a bit reserved on them after this game. I don't think I will be. I'm really impressed with how they're playing. But yeah, I think they've shown so much enthusiasm and so much effort, which is something I was very, very worried about after their first game where they were abysmal. So really good stuff to see from the Tigers. I love how they've responded to that. And yeah, lots of energy from them. It's what you really want to see. Look, I've been pretty critical of Stefano not so much critical of Stefano as a starting front rower. I think we all know he will be a fantastic player and a starter for years to come. Hopefully someone you can build a club around in your forward pack. But I've thought this year he's best suited coming off the bench after getting through the tough yards and letting him come on as impact. He made me look like a bit of a fool for suggesting that, because he was fantastic. The way he started this game, I thought he was the best forward on the field, to be honest. He, really, really, really good performance. Ran so hard, making so many meters. Loved what I saw from Stefano. As I said, best front rower out there in the game, arguably the best forward in the game. So really good stuff. When you're doing that against the monster Eels forward pack as well, that's no mean feat. That's fantastic stuff to see from Stefano. Let's go straight to Aiden Caesar. I've always been a big Aiden Caesar fan. I really liked what I always saw from him. When he came through at the Titans, I thought he was going to be a gun. He ended up just turning into just a consistent player, but honestly, that's exactly what the Tigers need. He's giving them everything they've needed and more. He's so invaluable to their attacking structures. His role, it's so simple, and he just executes it to perfection. I thought it was really cool to see him have his moment. Obviously, he kicked the field goal for the Tigers to win this one, and yeah, that was so good to see. If he doesn't do another thing this season, I think they've already got their money's worth out of him just for how he's played so far and how he played in this game. And to kick that field goal was awesome. But for me, the crowning glory for his game was when he chased back in cover defence and he made that tackle on Morgan Harper to dislodge the ball, which got the Tigers the field position, got them the ball for him to kick that field goal. So everything came down to him to win that game, and he did it. So I absolutely love that from Aiden Caesar. Really, really happy with what he gives this club. Just a fantastic game. Obviously made my team of the week. Love what I see from Aiden Caesar. Really happy for him, and I'm really happy for the Titans to have him. In terms of other standouts, Doreen Buller, once again, has been really, really good. Getting more and more consistent, getting more and more involved. I love the way he just lurks around. He's always looking for the ball. He scored another try. Showed some bloody good pace in that try as well. Blaise Talangi was hot on his heels, and he just opened up the gap between them. So really good to see that from Doreen Buller. That was the try to get them essentially back into this game, which was set up by Lachlan Galvin, who had a fantastic game. Also just very, very closely missed out on my 5/8 of the week jersey in my team of the week, purely probably because of the hip drop tackle. Another really bad one in this one. He was sent from the field for 10 minutes. He'll probably miss a couple weeks, which, again, as he should. I know Lachlan Galvin would not have meant to do what he did, and he seems like a great kid, and he wasn't trying to hurt Kelma Talangi, but we need to stamp that stuff out of the game, so a 2-week suspension probably is going to be fair for him. But regardless, for him to have that moment where he gets sent from the field for 10 minutes, as an 18-year-old, that can really shake your confidence. And he came back out and he delivered in a big way. He made the break against, I think it was on... No, was it Blaze Talangi? I can't remember. I think it was Blaze Talangi. He ran past him. Both 18-year-olds ran past him, put the fend in, found Dream Buller back in the inside to score that try. So for him to have that confidence to pull off a play that essentially sealed them the game or got them back into the game, won the game. You can look at it in a million different ways. That's so good to see from a young 18-year-old to just have that confidence to do that. So I loved what I saw from Lachlan Galvin. Once again, another player who made my team of the week was, of course, Just Nolan. Second game for the Tigers. He's now scored 4 tries in 2 games for them. He's so good. I mean, everybody in the NRL loves what Just Nolan brings. You got to respect it. It's Papua New Guinea players, they play with so much passion, so much energy. Everything's 120%. And it was once again for Just Nolan. Fantastic game from him. But I also really liked the centre duel that he had with Penasini. That was really good to see. Very different sort of players, Penasini did a lot of running around, a lot of stepping and running around and using his pace on Olam. But Olam was just, run as hard as I can and tackle as hard as I can. But they both played really, really good games. Olam got the chockies and Olam scored 2 tries. So you can say he played the better of the two. But Will Penasini, look at this, 13 runs, 171 metres, 77 post-contact metres, and only 2 tackle breaks. That is cap. But yeah, loved the centre duel between them. Anyone else for the Tigers? Look, I thought Charlie Staines and Junior Tupou had pretty good games. I haven't actually been as convinced on Junior Tupou as everybody else is. I don't see it as much, but I thought he was good in this one, and I thought Charlie Staines was really good as well. David Clemmer, he stood up in the forward pack. Honestly, their entire forward pack stood up, which we'll get into, but their forward pack outplayed the Eels. I'm just going to read through numbers here. Stefano, 12 runs, 119 metres. Clemmer, 13 runs, 151 metres. Papali'i, 11 runs, 125 metres. Bateman, 13 runs, 120 metres. Fanua Pole, 12 runs, 128 metres. All of their starting forwards ran for over 100 metres. Safe Half off the bench had 99, so he was one off it, and Samuelo Fainu had 83. Interesting to note, they did not use Jaden Sullivan or Asu Kapoa in this game either. So nearly every single one of their forwards from the starting side and the bench ran for 100 metres, which is just incredible to see. Let's get into the Eels, and I'm going to start with... Let's start talking about that forward pack duel, because I really think the Eels fumbled the bag with their rotations in this one. They proved they had a working system, bringing Paolo and Madison off the bench and just injecting them around that 20-minute mark after, the opening tough stuff had sort of been finished, had been completed. Once all that's done, you inject them, you let them run the show. So I cannot, for the life of me, understand why Brad Arthur changed that and brought Offa Hengawe and Hopgood off the bench instead. It doesn't make sense. It genuinely gobsmacked me. That's not to say Offa Hengawe and Hopgood played bad. Obviously, Hopgood made my team of the week off the bench, and I thought Offa Hengawe was really, really good as well. But you lose the spark that Paolo and Madison provide, and I don't think Hopgood and Offa Hengawe necessarily have that spark. For reference, we have the opening 3 games of this season. Junior Paolo averaged 147 metres, and his lowest metre count was 126 last week against the Sea Eagles. He had not missed a single tackle across these games, and he was doing it all in only an average of 42 minutes a game across those 3 games. Now, in this game against the Tigers, he played 53 minutes, so that's over 10 more than what he's normally averaging for the season. He had only 78 metres and he missed 3 tackles with 2 more being ineffective. And in the terms of Ryan Madison, for instance, as well, he's been averaging 40 minutes a game across the opening 3 rounds, running for an average of 115 metres a game. And in that time, he's averaging just under 3 offloads a game as well. So against the Tigers, he played 55 minutes. So that's 15 minutes above his season average. He only ran for 77 metres, and he did not come up with a single offload. Why would you make that change? It's proven to get results. You were 2-1 so far this season, and your one loss was against the Penrith Panthers, the best team in the NRL. It gobsmacks me. It makes my blood boil. It is the dumbest coaching decision I have seen in a long, long time. And I think Brad Arthur can coach. Obviously, he's got this team to grand finals. He's consistently got them to the finals. But why would you do that? You've proven it works. Why change it? It's so dumb. You get the worst performances from your 2 best players, your 2 most expensive forwards. You get their worst performances, you make them do the hard stuff, and you make them play longer after doing the hard stuff, and sure enough, they play their worst games. Make it make sense. Please make it make sense to me. It baffles me. It really, really does. Look, I think that is where the Eels lost this game. I think another big thing is, they definitely missed the class of Mitchell Moses out there. Dylan Brown, I thought he had a really good game at halfback, but once again, the game he played was as a 5'8". He played a really good game for a 5'8". He just happened to be wearing the number 7 jersey. I think what they missed from Moses was his knowledge of the game. He knows exactly when to kick, when to run, when to inject himself, and how to control this game. I think they win this game, the Eels, if Mitch Moses is playing. But that's not the case. So, let's just give the Tigers their dues. They were incredible. In terms of standouts for the Eels, look, if you told me there were 13 Clint Guthersons out there, I would have believed you. He was absolutely everywhere. He played a fantastic game of rugby league, Clint Gutherson. He always steps up in the absence of Moses. I love what he does. He scored a try. He was kicking goals in this one, so he came up with 12 of the Eels' 16 points. How'd he run in this one? Let's see what he's got there. 15 runs, 169 metres, 1 line break assist, 1 try, 1 try assist. The best game. Well, not the best game, but one of the best games I've seen Clint Gutherson play. I love what he brings to this side. I thought he was fantastic. As I said, I've already given Nathan Brown his raps. I thought Blaze Talangi had some really good moments. He ran the ball 9 times for 110 metres. He looks so suited to that 5'8" role. Obviously, he came up with that missed tackle on Lachlan Galvin where they, Tigers ended up scoring that try. He's an 18-year-old. It's going to be tough to make those. He'll warm into the season. You can see that the talent's there. There's a lot to be excited about in Blaze Talangi. For the rest of the Eels, I thought Sean Lane, he was really good, probably his best performance of the season. 17 runs, 161 metres from him. Campbell Gillard, he stood up pretty well. And obviously, as I said, Jaman Hopgood off the bench. He ended up playing, 55 minutes straight off the bench. 17 runs, 170 metres. He made that line break and had the try assist to Clint Gutherson. Couple tackle breaks, couple offloads, and 30 tackles and 0 missed. So, Jermaine Hopgood, when I talk about these rotations and I criticise Brad Arthur, Jermaine Hopgood, it's no fault of his own why they lost this game. He was good off the bench, but I think he's better suited to their starting side. And I think Madison and Parlow are better suited to come off the bench. So, really, I won't spend too much longer on that, but it was bizarre and just stupid in my opinion. But Hopgood, he played really good off the bench. And as I said, Offa Hingawi, he only played 20 minutes apparently. I thought he was really good in those 20 minutes too. So it's not necessarily their fault why they lost this game. And I don't even think it's Paolo or Madison's fault. They had their worst games of the season for sure. They weren't actually bad as per se, but they weren't what we know that they can be when you bring them off the bench. And that's my biggest criticism of that whole rotation thing. But look, we'll leave it there. Eels, there's still stuff to be excited about. They played well. They competed well. It's going to be interesting how many wins they get in Mitch Moses' absence, but I'm sure they can string a few together. But the main takeaway from this is up the Tigers. That's so good for them. I'm really happy for them to win this game. best game of the round, in my opinion. Loved it, and I'm excited to see how they go. Obviously, Lockie Galvin expected to miss a couple of weeks. Probably gives Jaden Sullivan a shot in that 5/8 jersey. I don't suppose he's going to hold on to that because Galvin's been terrific. But I'm excited to see how Jaden Sullivan, responds to that and takes over this side. So fantastic stuff from the Tigers and a great game and awesome stuff for your fans. Tigers fans, rejoice in that, embrace that, love that. But that will do us there. One of the longest ones. Spent way too long. I ramble a lot more than I should. But thank you guys for tuning into this one. Once again, I'll plug the Instagram. A lot more content coming there. And if you want to see the visual aspect of my team of the week, that's where it is over on the Instagram. So please go give that a follow. Show it some love at Chip and Chase Podcast there. But thank you guys for tuning into this one. And I'll see you guys next time.